Hello everyone, welcome back to another video with me, Martine Chiella. So in today's video, as you can see from the title, I am going to be going over how to get your child prepared to start school. So I'm talking kindergarten. They are starting school for the first time, and I'm just going to be going over a couple of things that I'm currently doing myself, implementing myself, that is going to give my toddler, my son, the best chance to get started in September. Now, the reason why I am speaking confidently about these tips here, because I know that these are some of the tips that I have used with my daughter when she started off school, and other tips I learned along the way that I felt like I could have used. And I feel like this is a great video for any moms or parents that are sending kids to school. So this would be a great video for you, just to kind of get you your wheels going here and just giving you some ideas. Now, I'm not going to be going over things that you might think that I will be going over, like going over colors and alphabets and learning things like that. That's not what I'm going to be going over in this video. Now, what I'm going to be going over are practical things that they are going to be using and needing as soon as they start day one of kindergarten. So the first thing I'm going to be going over has to do with the child's independence. So getting themselves ready. So if your child is starting school, what you want to do is start working on them getting to preparing themselves already by themselves. So meaning putting on their shoes by themselves, putting on their socks, able to put on their pant and their shirt, zipping up their jacket, grabbing their things and recognizing their clothes pieces and things like that. So having that independence is very important. When they start off school, a teacher has a certain amount of them in a classroom. And yes, they may have a helper in the classroom, like an ECE helper. However, they aren't able to independently help every individual child so that they can get going like outside on like winter days and like all the other summer days and stuff like that. And also, they're not there to be changing your child. Let's say if they have an accident with their shirt, they spilled something, they're not going to be doing that. So we do send like an extra change of clothes at school, which they're going to be asking you. And that's not what this video is about, but like your school will let you know all that stuff. But the most important thing is knowing, starting to teach your child how to put on those pieces. So those basic pieces. So starting with them earlier on, and if they're not unable to do that stuff with themselves, and if you're already in the habit of always assisting them, start pulling back a bit and giving them that independence and teaching them. Yes, it's going to be a little bit difficult because some of them wouldn't want to do it and they'll lose patience with it, especially with socks. I've seen it with my son, but this is a great start. So starting earlier, getting them that independence, starting early like that is very, very important. And also, some of them do start school and some of them will be going and they aren't fully out of their pull-ups yet. Sometimes they'll have those accidents. So working on those things early on during the summer break, or if you're a stay-at-home mom like me, you have the time to kind of implement that stuff earlier on. As I'm filming this video right now, we are at the tail end of February. So I have a lot of time ahead of me to curve a lot of these things so that he can learn how to zip up his own sweater, zip up his own jacket. So practice that stuff daily. If you can create a routine around it, and keep that note in mind with the word routine, I will be revisiting this. So if you can create that routine around that, that is going to be like a really good game changer for your child when they are going to be starting school. And as soon as they introduce to them that routine at school, they're going to fall right into place. The second thing that I'm also going to mention here is food when it comes to lunchtime. So with lunches, you want to make sure that you put the same lunchtime that your child is going to be encountering in September ahead of the time, So you want to do that, so just so that they can get into a routine of like, okay, this is my eating time. Sometimes it does take an adjustment. Let's say for some of us that are stay-at-home mom, sometimes we tend to push lunches literally off of like the 12 o'clock noon lunchtime period. We'll sometimes have lunch at 1:30, 2 o'clock and things like that, just because the kids are snacking along the way and things like that. So we want to eliminate that, and we want to bring the lunchtime period to the very same lunchtime that the child is going to be encountering in September. So obviously around this time already, you would have been searching for a school already. You would have been making the registration, signing them up. And so you would know if you have a sibling already going to that school, even better, you're familiar with the school and the time frame of all of these things. So making that transition wouldn't be as difficult for you. So keeping the same time period of a child's eating. With that, the third thing I'm going to add here is try to give them lunches that they're actually going to be having for lunch. So for example, like I said, I'm a stay-at-home mom. For lunchtime, I don't want to be incorporating like heavy lunches that we used to have before, like rice and deep things like that. But I want to do things like sandwiches and little pizzas and like nuggets, things that I know that he's going to be taking for lunch. If you want to introduce something new to the menu of lunches there that you know that you can keep up with when school season starts, now is the time to introduce it. Now is the time to give it to them so that you see how they respond to that. So the like very same way that you have to start role playing that stuff right now. So that's in the category of like lunch. So keeping up with routine again, another thing that I'm going to suggest is having your toddler starting to sleep at a certain time. Okay, so in my case, for example, my senior kindergartner, she goes to sleep around 8:30. So right around that time is the same time period that I want to start sending her brother as well, so that he can get into the routine of going around the same time and also waking up around the same time. It just simply helps. It helps when you have another child already started, but if you don't have a child that's already started yet, implementing that bedtime routine a little bit in advance is also going to be a huge help for you, so that when you do get there, things are already lined up. So that is the fourth thing that I'm gonna leave you here with. But I'm also gonna add a bonus here, and I feel like this one is very important for any children that are gonna be in public settings with other kids and teachers and stuff like that. With kids, literally, you have to repeat yourself literally daily when it comes to things, and like keeping the routine the same way so that it sticks, so that they remember. And this area, I feel like it's overlooked a lot, especially because the children are very, very young. And that has to do with personal space and their personal space and what's appropriate and what's not appropriate. So you need to start going over that stuff with your child. They're not going to understand the entire reason why maybe kissing friends on the lips is not right, or touching like a touch like this is not right. They're not going to understand all of that. But the most important thing is telling them, don't do it like this. We don't kiss friends on the lips. We don't want to pass over germs and things like that. So you need to start saying that stuff and repeating it. Like I said, they're not going to understand it. Later on, you'll be able to explain to them why personal space and things like that is very important. But having your child already understanding that mommy and daddy, or whoever is taking care of the children, when you start going over these things already earlier on with them, they just remember it. That's all that's going to do. Mommy and daddy said no kissing friends on the lips. That's all they're going to remember. And no touching certain, your privacy and things like that. These are things that children are going to remember. You need to go over them. You're not just going to bring up a subject like this today and then that's it and be like, oh, I talked to my children about it. I literally repeat 3 things with my daughter literally almost every single day before she heads out the door. 1, we don't eat other people's food. We don't eat it. You can eat something that you don't know and it's dangerous for you. Something like that. And also remember about your privacy. Okay? When you are changing at school, you are changing by yourself in your privacy, and nobody also is allowed to go in your private spaces or touch your privacy. So these are things that you need to go over with your children almost literally every single day. Okay. So with that, I'm also gonna, what was the other thing? So those are pretty much like everything I feel like is important for anybody that's having their kids starting to go to school. And I feel like these are important things that you can really implement. And I feel like a video like this, I would have loved to see a video like this, when I was kind of like just searching around online as well and things like that. So this is definitely going to be really helpful. If you have any other tips or anything like that, please leave them in the comments down below so that it can help myself and any other parent out there that is on this journey. Don't worry about them learning all the colors and the alphabets. That's what the teacher is there for. The first 2 years in junior kindergarten, senior kindergarten, all they're looking for is that social interaction, that independence. That is what they're really assessing the child on. And if they can get the child to go through the system routine, and once that is established, then they take off with all the other stuff. Of course, they're going to introduce alphabets and the days of the week and things like that. But most of the time, even like writing and all that mobility stuff, it takes time with the development and everything. Usually things really start like the kickstart around the grade 1 period. But of course, some kids are always going to be ahead of others. You need to exercise a lot of patience with this. Believe me, I know. And that's pretty much it for this video. My last bonus one was really much just hygiene again, a surrounding routine. If you can get them, if they are obviously they would be potty trained by this stage. If you can develop a proper hygiene routine for them every single day in the bathroom. It's like once you finish flushing, once you've put this in the garbage, you go up the sink, you do 1 pump for soap, you wash and you scrub like this. Like literally you have to do the same thing over and over and over until you start seeing that child do it. So washing of hand, keeping everything clean. This is all that you would need to know to get your child started off in school. I really hope this video was helpful. Again, thank you all so very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye for now.